All right, what's good, folk? So, yeah, I'm trying this again. I think I got the issues with my frame rates fixed. So we're going to give this another shot. I know last time things were lagging a little bit, and I had to do a little bit of tinkering there to try and see if I can get everything running a bit more smoothly. Hopefully this helps. But the subject I want to talk about today is aggression. Look here, you know, aggression. Aggression is what people tend to rely on whenever, I don't know, things make them feel insecure or uncomfortable. It's not something that is limited exclusive to. It's not something that's limited exclusively to humanity. If you encroach upon another organism's space, then more than likely they're gonna feel some sort of way about it, and they're gonna become aggressive. Well, the main thing I want to talk about in this particular video right here is the aggression people feel whenever they perceive someone or something as threatening their identity. Okay, and you have to forgive me, I got off to a bit of a rough start there, but it's like I had to dial in a bit. So aggression, a lot of times you guys are going to see me interact with people online who are very hostile towards me, and they don't really have a real reason to be. They feel angry, and they don't know why. It could have to do with me being the thing that I am, or at least purport to be. It could have to do with their own internal issues or what have you. But for some reason, they carry this chip on their shoulder, this feeling that they have to transfer into me in order for them to feel calm and at ease. Well, this is basically aggression. People feel aggression whenever something threatens their identity. You see, when you live in idealism, when you're sort of, trapped in the internal narrative, you come to confuse your identity with your life itself. And anything that comes along that sort of threatens the identity is perceived as a direct threat against you in your own life. This is where cognitive dissonance comes from. If you have this idea that you are you're a collection of meanings, symbols, stories, and beliefs that sum to form a person, and something comes along that invalidates these artifacts that you build your identity on top of, then you're going to feel some sort of way about it. Things that threaten the identity, they can be, I don't know, they can be information, they can be people, they can be experiences. It's basically this idea, this notion that in order to be safe, a person who lives in idealism, they have to keep this tiny little bubble intact. This thing that holds all the things that make their social character. They have to keep this thing intact. And if something comes along to threaten that, well, they lash out. The thing is, you have to learn how to manage your emotions. You have to learn how to manage your aggression. No one is your physical or emotional punching bag. You don't get to just release into people because you feel scary about things that you don't know how to confront or deal with. No one exists for you to release your anger and frustrations into. Pardon me. You see, you don't get to tell other people how they must be in order to keep your inner story intact. All right? It's that simple. It's never your place to go around taking your anger and frustrations out on other people. And I know I'm speaking in circles right here, but I'm just shooting from the hip. So here's the deal. A lot of times you're going to see a lot of people, they come at me with a lot of anger and frustration and animus, and for no other reason than the fact that what I am and how I perform, it conflicts with how they want to see themselves. It conflicts with the identity, right? But me being what I am and me performing how I perform has absolutely nothing to do with them. I put out the information that I'm going to put out. I say the things that I'm going to say. I stay in my lane, and even being within eyeshot of their inner story, it triggers them. They experience really wild cognitive dissonance because something threatens their little story. It threatens their internal narrative. You see, you have to learn how to manage your emotions. Everything in life isn't going to conform to you. Everything in reality does not fit into your tiny boxes. Reality doesn't fit into your tiny boxes. You can't expect everyone and everything to be something that you can put a label on so that you feel safe and secure. No, you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone, and you're going to have to face and deal with reality on its terms. You're going to come across people who operate well outside the parameters of your experience and your feelings and beliefs. You're going to have to be able to step up and be like, yo, maybe I don't know everything yet. You see, when you practice being reactive, when you practice going around blowing up on people and blowing up on things, you basically set yourself up to be very easily triggerable. When you don't learn how to process your emotions, and you get used to either barking at and snapping at or running away from anything that doesn't agree with you, you turn yourself into a coward. Cowardice is something that's practiced. It's practiced. You don't get to go around being scared of things all the time just because they don't conform to you. This is where reasoning and honesty come into play. You know what I practice doing every day? I practice thinking. I practice considering things that don't agree with me because I know that sooner or later I'm going to come across things that don't agree with me. And when and if I do, I hope that my mind is adaptive enough to try to understand those things on their terms. To try and understand those things where they're happening and not trying to, as opposed to trying to force everything to fit into my inner story. The inner story is small. There's not enough room in there for everything in reality to fit into. In any scenario, in pretty much every scenario, you're going to have to learn how to adapt. You're going to have to learn how to make sense of things that don't fit with and conform to your experience. See, and if you practice being reactive, if you practice being narcissistic and assuming that everything must bow to you, must prostrate itself before you and the authorities you seek to define yourself by, you set yourself up for failure every time. You got to learn how to think. You got to learn how to be honest. You know what you really need to do? really angry, frustrated, and upset people, and they want to come to me and they want to beat me up with all their emotions. You're not an avatar, Donald King. You're a bad Donald King. I'm going to prove you. I'm going to expose you. And they think they're going to do something, but I've been looking for somebody to prove me wrong for literally the entire time. I haven't been trying to prove that I'm right. I've been trying to find someone who can prove that I'm wrong. It gives me a different reason to do what I do. I'm not trying to prove to anybody what I am. I'm trying to find somebody who can invalidate what I'm saying, but they have to do it legitimately. The majority of the contestation I receive boils down to people being scared and not knowing what to do when they encounter someone who performs outside their realm of experience. They're like, you have to fit into my boxes, Donald King. You have to be something that I know how to make sense of the world with. But what happens when I'm not? What do you do then? You know, the goal of everything I do is simply to show people how to be brave and honest. I'm honest. I'm honest in my limitations. I'm honest about the things that I know and I don't know. I'm honest about, well, pretty much everything that I try to speak to, because at the end of the day, I mean, like, you don't come as far out into the ocean as I've come and and just hope that you're going to make it to some shore. Like, no, you have to allow honesty to be your guide through all of this craziness. Again, it's something that fell in my lap. I didn't plan for any of this. It's not something that I achieved. It just fell in my lap, and well, honesty has carried me this far. I might as well let it carry me the rest of the way. But through it all, the main thing that I'm trying to do is show people what bravery looks like. You see, I don't know what tomorrow holds for me. And I still have to press forward. I don't know where all of this is going to end. Through all the things that I've lost, I literally had to sacrifice my social life, my social character, in order to pursue this path. And a lot of days I wake up and I don't know what lays ahead. But I had to press forward anyway. Just like everybody else. You can't just go around barking at shit that doesn't fit into your little boxes. Life, reality, it's not going to fit into your little boxes. You can't be mad at everything that doesn't conform to you, because if you are, then you're mad at reality itself. That's definitely something you don't want to do. I can say that much. You don't want to let your vanity and your aggression make an enemy out of reality. That is the last enemy you want. At any rate, I appreciate y'all. And, I want you to understand something. Whenever you see me going back and forth with people who are aggressive, whenever you see me going back and forth with people who just want to transfer all their anger and rage into me, what you're watching me do is confront their cowardice head on. Right now, we're in a situation where cowardice, it spreads like wildfire. It spreads literally like a virus. And far too many people, they've just sort of turned their head and averted their attention away from all these aggressive people, and aggression has continued to grow and swell and grow and swell. And now we're in this space where the world is just it's a flaming dumpster full of all these angry and narcissistic people who think that it's their right to go around speaking over and trying to invalidate and hurt and injure people for their amusement and satisfaction. And they do this because they don't know the difference between bravado and bravery. They don't know the difference between what it means to be able to face reality and what it is to try and force your will onto reality and control reality because you're scared of it on its terms. You gotta show people how to be brave, man. You gotta show them how to be brave. I think that's probably all that I'm gonna say for this run through. Normally I like to collect my thoughts before I do something like this, but I'm still trying to figure out this whole setup and whatnot, and I don't mind taking a couple L's on the front end. So no one is your emotional punching bag, man. If something scares you, you can't bark at it or run away from it forever. The reality of it is still there. Sometimes you got to learn how to step into it. I tell you this much. Stepping into it and dealing with the discomfort on the front end is always, always, always going to be the smartest move. If you wait and delay and wait and delay, try and put off the inevitable, the longer you wait is the worse shit gets. It doesn't just work like that in terms of what's happening with all this. It works like that in general. Dealing with shit on the front end is usually going to be your best move. So if something makes you scared or makes you feel uncomfortable or insecure or uncertain, learn how to step into it and see what it is. Barking and yelling, that doesn't do anything. You're not going to intimidate reality. You're not going to make it back down from you because of all of your anger and your vigor and your aggress. You're not going to do it. So, yeah, I just wanted to reach out to y'all and say, hey, I've been doing this for a while. Oh wait, I see. I got some questions here. Let me see. Ruben, brother Rube, what's good with you, man? Oh man, I don't have any audio. Wow. Okay, so that was quite interesting. Anywho, yeah, I guess if I don't have any audio, this is an exercise in futility. But I appreciate y'all. I'll talk to you later. All right.